troubled by strange noises in the middle of the night.
Welcome to the SLUSH podcast, the only place on the internet where we cover Ghostbusters to baby diapers and everything in between.
Like, what the fuck?
Sully,
There's a giant space whale? How am I supposed to comprehend that?
see,
Who told you about the space whale?
well, I mean, and that brings us to episode 31. We're back.
Yay!
Hey.
This is our
Episode-
second shot at episode 31 because I
Yeah.
tried to do a test, the fire pit, and it went
yeah.
sideways. Really
Oh
bad.
man,
Yeah.
I got like a whole. Can I mod the next one? Because like I got everything all written out for it. So.
Yeah, sure.
All the info. I got all the info.
Just do something crazy.
No, I'm just a nerd.
Oh, that's okay. I'm also a nerd. I can't. Sully, have you ever seen Are You Afraid of the Dark?
I've only ever heard of this. Actually, we had a bit talk about this like last week in back at work. We're all just talking about a bunch of horror shows, and Are You Afraid of the Dark was I think the bug up.
Yeah.
It's great. I love it.
So like I talked to Matt and I'm like, let's do one just about Are You Afraid of the Dark? 'Cause it was on for like 8 seasons and you know it was like every kid's Canadian horror show.
Terrifying.
Yep.
Honestly, gave me nightmares
Who would've-
forever.
Who would have thought non-dairy creamer would scare us that much?
I don't know. Somebody somewhere.
Yep.
So for this episode, I guess we're gonna do a 3x3 again, except with music this time. Our favorite albums or music from certain artists. I'm not sure. I got to thinking when I was making mine, I thought for sure that I knew, but then as I was doing it, I was like, do I? I mean, how many times have I listened to that? Actually, I don't know. So I revised it in my head like 20 times before I did it.
Dude, I had like a solid 5 choices at first, and all the for like I don't. Okay, I revised like no, these don't make sense to me. Do I even know myself?
I had to sit back and like, what vinyl did I, or what physical music did I have before all my stuff went streaming? Like,
I went right to my record collection because I was like, wait, what do I like again? Like, I don't know.
half of my favorite stuff I couldn't get on vinyl because they didn't press it, and they didn't press a lot of vinyl in the '90s.
Ooh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
So, everybody thought the records were on their way out. Now they're like, fucking at Walmart now. It's crazy.
Yeah,
Well,
they're on the rise.
it's well, I was watching Third Rock from the Sun, the TV show, and it's like when one of them gets into Sully, do you know about Columbia House?
I'm gonna say no.
It was a record subscription service, and you got like 12 CDs for a penny on the first order, and then they'd send you like a CD every month for like $25. And in the first episode, like in Third Rock from the Sun, they're all aliens, and they're looking at a CD, and they're like, "I wonder if they'll ever figure out the musical superiority of vinyl."
Wow. They called it.
And they were right, and then they danced away to Electric Avenue,
As they should. That was a great
as they
show.
should, right?
John Lithgow.
Mhm.
It's true though. I mean, I don't remember the last CD I bought. I think it was either a Beastie Boys CD or it might have been Plastic Beach, the Gorillaz album. That might have been the last CD I bought.
Mine was Clerks 2, the soundtrack.
Oh, that's a good one though.
I
Yeah.
bought my cousin's CD to help support him, and now he's like winning EC Mays Award and shit. So I feel pretty good.
Hey, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thought you were
Shit from
gonna say-
902, shout out. Hey, there we go.
I thought you were gonna say
Love that
Linkin Park. Come on.
I think the only real like actual albums I bought outside of my cousin, so that's because his family. It was like,
But it's good music.
it is. It actually is. He got one of his songs got put in the Micmac greatest hits.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah,
We should
so
have
that was
him
pretty
on.
cool. Shit for the 902.
Bring him on. He's like, no. But seriously, bring him on.
That'd be wild. Right? Yeah.
That would be cool. We talked about having some like crazy guests on, but it's weird. Lately, we've just been doing stuff so last minute. We're like, oh yeah, like podcast, like gotta do that thing. I mean, we don't have to.
Yeah,
I kind of like where
But
we
we're
go.
I think
we're never organized.
Yeah, we used to be really like January was like a new year. Like, yo, we have all these like ideas lined up, and then like as soon as like I left and then like came back, I was like, damn, what now?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we did that Star Wars one, the Phantom Menace. That one was kind of
Yeah.
organized.
Oh,
I want to do an
yeah, that was-
Attack of the Clones one. God help
Well,
us.
I mean, I like to think our Ghostbuster one was pretty organized. I mean, I had a list of like, way we went, and
Yeah, and like Cora and I are gonna do another baby chats in the next couple
Yes.
of days. There's
yes,
yeah,
one of
you
my
did my
friends
up.
actually asked about that. She's like, "When is Cora coming back? I kind of miss the baby chats." I'm like, I don't know.
We were gonna do one yesterday, but Bennett is in month 8 of life,
Mhm.
and he's going through this crazy cognitive leap in his brain. So
Yeah.
he like barely is sleeping at night. He wakes up every hour because his brain is so filled with emotions and he can't handle them. So he just is like really
You
wired.
introduced him to Soundgarden, didn't you?
That's just on repeat in his head when he's trying to sleep. It's so dark.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I went first last time. Who went last when we did 3x3's? Was it John? John, you
Me.
should go first this time.
Okay. All right. So who's got my list?
I don't know. Did you send it to me?
I sent it to you because you said send it to you, so you do the 3x3, but
Can I say it in any order, or do you want me to start at the top?
wherever you want, man. This is literally just like all the albums I could think of that I've had that I like either had as a physical CD or record that I played on a regular basis at some point.
Disclaimer: I'm just gonna say this for all the music lovers. I don't think any of us are like professionally criticizing like good music.
No.
How to, like how to good analytics and how we feel about the music and how the artist writes it. I think it's just more so how the music is to us ourselves.
No, we're doing a really like epic breakdown like of every technical thing, Sully.
Yeah.
Fuck. Did you miss the memo?
Is that the memo? That's where we are now, music podcast.
That would be cool. The soundtrack show is like that. Okay, so the first one on John's list we got here is Mortal Kombat soundtrack. Now, are we talking the 90s Mortal Kombat movie?
We're talking the 90s Mortal Kombat movie.
Did Paul Anderson direct that?
I believe he did. But we're talking about the soundtrack.
Hey, he must have had something to do with the soundtrack, right? As a director.
Kombat.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, like that I was like I think 11 or 12 when that movie came out, and my parents were very hesitant to let me see it, but the soundtrack, they're like, okay, well, we'll get him that because like he must like that, and it was like my introduction to techno music, and it was
yeah.
like, but it wasn't just techno, it was like back in the late mid 90s, let's call it. It was like metal techno.
What
So
was
like
happening?
the Utah Saints and the Killers, and I'm just like, wow, this is so awesome. And then I saw the movie and I'm like, meh, but the soundtrack's good.
The movie, you know, it is what it is for back then. I loved it when I was a kid. Fucking Scorpion.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Sub-Zero. Come on.
Hell yeah. The fights are pretty wild, especially with Sub-Zero just coming in, freezing. He kills a few people, right? Am I crazy?
Honestly,
I think a couple of people die.
Goro, they had the
Like,
practical effects. That was great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't just a dude in a suit. Like,
Remember, he's like, those are $300 sunglasses, asshole. It's like the best
yeah,
part of the
exactly.
movie.
I should have done this before we come on. I'm just gonna pull up the soundtrack and go through a couple of who was on it.
We sampled
So-
We get copyright strike. This video never sees the light of day.
Yeah.
So there's KMFDM with a song called Juke Joint Jezebel. It's like techno rock.
I haven't heard that name in so long. That's hilarious.
Exactly. The Invisible by Geezer. I don't know if they're called Geezer or GZR. The Utah Saints, and they did the Mortal Kombat soundtrack. And then I was thinking about it after, and this is going to pop up on my list again. There's a band called Orbital, and they did a song called Halcyon On, and it's just this forever repeating techno happiness. Like, it's like the end of the movie song.
The
And it
90s.
just- Yeah, it's going to show up again on one of my lists, but yeah. So that was one of my first albums that I had, and I loved it.
That's fair. Mortal Kombat,
Yeah.
man. Fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
Such a classic. Okay. So that was your first one. Second one, we got Hackers. Also, I had that too, and that was a wicked soundtrack.
Right?
Not gonna lie.
Right?
Yeah.
Now that's where we get back into, like, once again, techno. I wasn't a techno person, but I liked the music because it fit the movie so well. But I've got the list of songs again here. how Orbital's back with the same damn song. But at the first of the movie, it was my first experience with the Prodigy, Underworld, a whole bunch of them, and just it fit every part of the movie so well. It just stuck in my head.
What's the Prodigy song on that soundtrack again?
I
Breathe?
just
No.
no.
What is
It was they're actually on it twice. It's Voodoo People and
Yeah.
One Love.
Oh yeah, man. I haven't heard that in so long.
Yeah.
Matthew Lillard
Wow.
is bizarre in that movie. He's got his like braids.
Well, and I saw him the other day. He was live streaming from a convention, and he looks like a dad now. And I'm like, there is no way that's the same guy from Hackers.
I know. It's really weird.
Five Nights at Freddy's, dude. Let's go.
Is he in that?
Yeah, he plays one of the big roles in it, actually.
That's crazy. Matthew Lillard.
Yeah.
We'll have him on the next podcast.
Yep.
That's funny. It's Hackers. Back in Black, AC/DC. Classic.
Come on. I don't have to say anything about that one.
No, like we've heard that at
That-
White's so many times now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
oh my god. Yeah, the amount of times we hear like classic rock like that is pretty
Like that album, I didn't for the longest time because I didn't realize that they had a lead singer before the guy they've got now, and that was like his first record he did with them. And then I was like, huh, this is a kind of good music. I'm gonna keep listening. And it was really good music that everybody likes. So
AC/DC. I mean,
Mhm.
I love that Iron Man kind of like, put them back into like a crazy
Yep.
spotlight like
Yep.
that. Even in I think of the last time they used it was in the first Avengers movie, right, where he shows up again.
yeah,
and they had
he
using
showed up to
AC/DC
shoot to
off
thrill.
screen. Yeah, so good. Oh man. Yeah, and he
Yeah.
fights Loki, right? Man, that was
Yeah,
it was great. That
shows up, punches him to shoot to thrill.
it was so great.
Yeah, like they did the soundtrack for the second movie. So,
Oh really?
but it was just a whole bunch of stuff off of their old albums.
That's cool.
Wow, that's pretty dope. Have you seen
Yeah.
them at all?
AC/DC? Oh yeah, years and years ago.
Hell yeah.
They were not past their prime. They were aged back when I saw them. So seeing them today would be kind of rough. And then like one of my buddies went to see them with Axl Rose, and he's like, "Oh, I wish they'd just retire."
Ooh.
Oh.
Yeah,
Axel will not be on the podcast. Okay.
he'd be 4 hours late.
Ooh. Like The Rock. All right. Next soundtrack is Ghostbusters.
We talked about this last week, didn't we? No, just
Yeah.
same thing. Like that's soundtrack to my childhood.
This is like the pop track, or is this like the score kind of thing?
No, the actual soundtrack, like the movie, music in the movie, not the score.
It was a great soundtrack.
It was funny. We went to a school on Friday, and we had the decals on the side of the car. We had a beacon light on the roof. We pulled in. All these kids are just standing. The part at the end of the movie when there's like the crowd, like around the car. We basically had that when we were backing out and leaving. And then they were running after us, and we were playing the Ghostbusters song, and I'm like, that's what that feels like.
That's
So-
cool.
So that's like that's how like you drive around listening to that music, and you're like, okay, this is me reliving my perfection here.
Oh, that's a cool feeling. I'm jealous
Yeah.
immediately. I think.
Well, I was
that-
gonna ask you to come, but I figured you'd have to bring Bennett.
Yeah, I don't really like. I just yeah. I start things and then I get them finished in like a month. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That song, is it called Magic?
Magic, right?
That's a cool song on that soundtrack.
By Mick Smiley.
Oh man, I remember
Right?
because you only ever hear the second half of that song in
Yep.
Ghostbusters, and it's like the spooky part,
Oh
Yep.
wow.
and the first
There's
part
like a
is like not
The
spooky.
happy track.
Yeah,
It's like a love song, and then it almost feels a little stalkerish in the second one.
yeah. It kind of switches gears, and you're like, oh Jesus, like what
Yep.
what are we talking about here in this? But that's my favorite song off that whole soundtrack.
Oh yeah, Saving the Day is my favorite.
You can't get it on
Um,
Apple Music when you listen to it. It
You can't
sucks.
even get it on Spotify. But I'll tell you this: there is a great live version of it by the Thompson Twins on YouTube,
Hmm.
and it sounds completely different, but the same with a live band.
That's cool.
Yeah,
Man, they need to get that shit figured out because I need
Yeah.
that on my soundtrack list on my phone. Thriller, Michael Jackson. I mean, that was. I think it's been dethroned now by like Drake or something. But like, yeah, that was the biggest album of all time for a while, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm just pulling up the track list just because.
Some classics on there. I mean,
Oh,
Thriller.
definitely.
I
mean,
mean Drake, but I'm just gonna
Like,
pull
and the
up
funny
the
thing
list.
is, the sound, like the whole album is only like what 7 songs long,
Yeah, it's super short.
right? Like track listing. Um,
It's
and
one of those.
it's so varied on what it is.
Yeah, it is. The songs, a lot of them are completely different than one another,
Yeah.
and it's one of those lightning in
Like,
a bottle things that happened
yeah.
in the '80s.
Well, it's like Billie Jean, Beat It, The Girl Is Mine with Paul McCartney, which is awesome. Thriller, right? Wannabe starting something. That's like disco, and then they get into his more pop music as the record goes on.
Yeah, even PYT I think is an amazing song. I've listened
Yeah.
to
Oh,
it a
absolutely.
million times.
Yeah, every
Yeah.
kind of song in Thriller is pretty much iconic. Like I feel like I can always think of whenever you mention it, like, oh yeah, I know exactly the beat to that song. Around,
Yeah.
like, even times it's referenced or it's brought up in discussion.
Well, and the funny part is Thriller, the song. I'm just trying to look at it here. Is only 5 minutes long, 5 minutes and 58 seconds long. But the music video is what? Correct me if I'm wrong, Matt. It's like 12 minutes and 30 seconds.
Well, John, I just happen to have it right here, and I can check the runtime for you. I don't know. This is like the whole making of.
It is like a short film, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, and that's
Yeah.
at a certain point, Michael Jackson started making these really long music videos because he figured out that they qualify as a short film. So guess what he was trying to get? Come on, Sully, come on, guess.
Wait, well, me? Oh, like a grant for a short film? I don't know.
No. Oh, Michael
Hey.
Jackson needs a grant. Yes.
Yeah.
No, I think it's 12 minutes counts as a short film, which qualifies him to win an Academy Award.
Really?
Oh.
Yeah. So, like, if you go through some of his other songs, you look, and then the music video themselves are 12 minutes long or longer, so they qualify as a short film, so he can, but he never got nominated, which was kind of sad, because you'd be funny to see him win an Oscar and not, a
Honestly,
fake award.
though, Martin Scorsese did bad. That whole music video is pretty awesome if you see the entire thing.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever watched Moonwalker?
Yes, I actually have that
Right?
next to me as well.
That they do the same. They do bad, like, shot for shot, but they do it with kids.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah.
That movie is fucking crazy. I'd never seen that when I was a kid, and when I saw it as an adult, I was like, "What the fuck? What are they thinking here? This is bizarre."
I remember going to Disney World, and they had Captain EO starring Michael
Cool.
Jackson. I'm like, oh wow,
Oh.
Michael Jackson in 3D. He's really coming at the
Man.
screen at me.
I really wish I could have seen that, because
Oh,
George Lucas was involved with making that.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
Wow,
was
that's actually
Francis Ford Coppola was as well. I'm
and
pretty sure.
yeah, and Henson did all the puppets and stuff that were involved, and
It's insane. What the
like
fuck?
the mouse was just throwing mad money at everyone. Like, come on, Michael Jackson's in on this. Come on, let's do it.
Yeah, that would have been wild to see back in the day. His outfits are crazy in it. Sorry, complete tangent there.
Yeah.
So the next one we've got Yesterday. Is this the new movie Yesterday, like the Beatles one?
The new the reason I put that one in, it's one of the few things it's on my Spotify too. It's got every classic Beatles song, because everybody can name a Beatles song, but no one can name all the really good ones. But with that movie, they pulled all of not the good ones, but even the less obscure ones.
Oh man, when I first saw the preview for that, I was like, "You already got me." Like, I'm definitely going to see that. I took my
Yeah.
mom to see that. When he first sings Yesterday in the movie, and like they're all really
It's-
moved by it because then nobody's
Yeah.
heard any of the Beatles songs ever. It's such a weird premise, and the director of Trainspotting did it.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
But for me, I was like, a world without the Beatles, could I live in it? And then they're like, he asked them, like, I can't remember who it was. He said, "Can I get a Coca-Cola?" And they're like, what the hell's that? We only have Pepsi. Like,
Yeah.
oh, well, that's a bad world. Just take me out of it.
That was weird.
Side note, there's you remember the TV show Quantum Leap?
Yeah, we talked about that last time. It's
Right.
great.
So, Scott Bakula sings Imagine to his kid's sister before John Lennon ever sings it, and it's so moving, and she's like, "There's no way he wrote that." And she started crying. So
Is it on Quantum Leap?
yeah, the original one, like an episode where he goes back into his own past, not someone else.
Cool.
Wow,
Right?
that's actually insane.
Yeah.
That's really neat.
Because he was like 12 right before the Beatles broke up, and then it was a couple years later that Lennon wrote Imagine.
Oh, I was really glad that he was alive at the end of yesterday. That was really cool.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
crazy.
They did it. That was a really neat film because it's such a bizarre premise. Like, how do you even pitch that? You're like, the whole world's gonna forget that the Beatles ever existed. It's gonna be like a power outage, and then this guy.
And Ed Sheeran's gonna be a bad guy.
Oh my god, I forgot he was in that. That was so
Yeah.
great.
That's so funny.
You know what's crazy?
It's-
I don't know any of Ed Sheeran's songs at all. I don't know a single thing about him.
I know that. Go ahead, Sully.
Oh, I'm just gonna call you in your bluff. Yes, you do. Even if you passively learn on radio, he's hard to escape. I love the shape
I
of
don't
you,
have-
baby.
Oh, I have heard that.
No, or
Jim.
thinking out loud.
How does that one go? I
Yeah.
need you to sing it, John.
Oh, did I just kill it?
No, I've never heard it. What is it?
Hold on. Wait.
Oh, you got it.
He's gone. Ed Sheeran took out his headphones. This is it. He's in Game of Thrones and came and destroyed that. Now it's a ruined John's headphones.
It's so dark.
Yeah.
I don't know. His. Oh shit. We can't hear you, John.
Okay, no.
Oh no,
can you
we
hear
can
me
hear
now?
you. I can hear you now.
Sorry, my headset has a moment once in a while.
Oh, I thought you were gonna like start singing Ed Sheeran and getting prepared for
No.
it. Oh,
No.
That would have been amazing.
No, it was actually funny. I was at a party last night, and it was like, you know, like you guys use Spotify, right?
I use Apple Music.
Okay, well on Spotify, yeah, on Spotify you can scan a QR code, and you can add everything to the same playlist and leave it in a queue. And someone took my phone and put Backstreet Boys "I Want It That Way," and it was like we were listening to like classic rock and we like what we like to call stripper music. And then, right? And then I know, right? And then "I Want It That Way" by the Backstreet Boys came on, and literally everybody went, "Who the fuck put this on?" But then all of a sudden, everyone's singing it.
Oh my god. What year was that? Was it the late 90s?
I believe it was.
I remember when they
think-
came to Halifax not too long ago, and Henry,
Yeah.
the guy we work with, was like, "Oh yeah, my wife wants to go, so like I gotta go," and we were like, "That's fair." But then Henry deep dives into everything, pretty crazy. Like, so he did a deep dive into Backstreet Boys, and sure enough, like he knew everything about them, and it was pretty wild because he would just listen to them, and he'd be
Did you
like,
start coming?
Yeah, he had to play.
Did you start coming in with bedazzled jeans and stuff?
Um, no, there was a moment with the chair though. Yeah, it was just funny.
Yeah,
like-
we had the shop
Yeah.
blasting with the crew coming in, jamming out Backstreet Boys. Honestly, it was a great time.
I'm sure the crew will never forget that again. All that from yesterday. How the hell did that happen? Okay, the
don't
Batman
know.
soundtrack.
Oh come on, man! It's perfect. It's Prince's like gift to the end of the '80s and start of the '90s.
I actually heard a podcast all about them making this, and it was like, it's like pretty much all Prince, right? The whole thing, isn't it?
Yeah. Like that's. I think when the credits go through, it's like soundtrack by Prince and music. Who does the soundtrack or the score?
Danny Elfman.
Danny Elfman does that, but Prince was the music supervisor. So it's like all his music because he knew the right stuff to put in it.
Oh man, that scene where the Joker and his goons are going around spray painting all the artwork.
I have a friend who does drag shows, and he did that once.
That's perfect.
Wow.
He had like 5 goons, and literally the 5 goons came on the stage, and he's like, "Lawrence, music!" And he just danced around. He like threw glasses everywhere,
That's
and
so cool.
yeah.
I would love to have
So-
seen it. That's a good idea, actually.
I'll see if I can find a YouTube video of it, and I'll send it to you.
Bring him on the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I mean, like I've heard nothing. I've never owned that, but it's one of the soundtracks I've always heard pop up as one of like the most popular ever.
Yeah. In case anyone can't tell, all of my favorite albums are basically soundtracks. So
Yeah, I was gonna say it's all movie soundtracks at this point.
It's okay. That's fair. Okay, next one is American Style Tea
Yep.
Stone?
Tie Stone.
Oh, what's that?
Once again, this leads from a movie soundtrack. He did a bunch of the music for the Boondock Saints, like the
Hey.
Boondock Saints 2. And it's dirty jazz rock or dirty country rock, I'll say. Like literally every song in the album could be a wrestler's theme song. Let's put it that way.
Whoa.
Wow.
Heavy guitar, heavy bass, and the guy, God bless him, he's as big as Jelly Roll. You know that guy.
Yes.
But he has this just such a strong voice, right? And the lyrics are just, if you're blue collar and redneck and don't want to hear anything political, it's perfect.
And he only did the sequel. He didn't do the first one.
No, well, the first one was like, they didn't have any money, so they had to like buy music that was already out there. But with the second one, they had him do a bunch of the music, and then he got to put it on his own album.
Interesting.
Oh wow.
So like in the second, you've seen the movies, right?
I've only seen the first one.
Oh, okay.
Nah,
Well, in the second one, there's a scene where Norman Reedus and Sean Patrick Flanery are like showering for the ladies. You know, they're showering and like cutting off their beards and stuff, and it's to his music, and I'm like, okay, so this is basically like stripper music.
And then that guy got really famous on Walking Dead. What's his name?
Yeah.
Matt? It's
Yeah.
like
Norman Reedus,
no. What's
Yeah,
his
Norman-
character's name?
Daryl Dixon.
That's
Yeah.
what I hear all the time.
Yeah.
He was on Walking Dead, and now he's famously working with Hideo Kojima all the time.
Yeah.
Bizarre. Who would have
Yeah.
guessed? Yeah, because the sequel took like for goddamn ever to come out to that. I remember.
Yeah, I didn't watch.
Oh, yeah.
The sequel.
Well, and it was crazy because like when they announced it, like 100,000 people stormed into Boston to be extras, and Patrick Duffy, the guy, I think it was Patrick Duffy, the director, when they had the scene where they were all the crowd was outside like chanting for them to get released from jail, no spoilers or anything. He literally was on the microphone going, "Who's a paid extra?" And they all put up their hands and goes, "You fuckers go to the back. I want the real fans at the front."
Ooh, wow.
Oh,
That's pretty crazy. Holy shit.
Yeah.
that's
yeah.
insane. What the
Well, because like they only paid for like 300 extras, and like 50,000 people were there waiting.
Wow.
Yeah, people love that movie. It was like a cult
Yeah.
classic.
Oh man,
It's a
it's
good
great.
movie.
Last but not least, Queen, greatest hits.
Okay, I am a huge Queen fan. I always have been. I always will be.
Join the hive mind, John. We all love Queen.
Everybody, yeah. But have you seen them live?
Well, no, I 99.
I traveled 2,000 miles. I paid for obstructed seats, and I got on a crappy airline, although it wasn't 16 hours to Tokyo, to see Queen live. And it is the best, by far, concert I've ever seen because it has amazing music, because Queen has the best music ever.
Wait, he's
There's something
dead.
for everybody.
Who's singing then?
Hold on, I'm cutting out. Hold on.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like,
Stupid headphones.
Mercury is like the showman. That guy knows how
Yeah.
to bring in an audience, man. Like whenever I think of like good concerts and stuff, like I always see like Freddie Mercury just drawing in the crowd, not even singing. He's just doing warm ups and stuff like that. Like the energy this man just radiated was insane back then.
I've been meaning to see the movie, but I have not seen it yet. I heard it was good.
Well, he like fast forwarded. Did you see that? That
Yeah,
was
that
wild.
was really good. Did you just go ahead
What?
in time?
I did. I got to 88 miles an hour. What movie are we talking about?
Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Bohemian Rhapsody? Great movie.
The same people who did that are doing the Michael Jackson movie right now. It's supposed to be like humongous.
Who's
I didn't like the movie very much, not because of the storytelling, because of the over editing in shots. It just
I know.
It just
Over-editing?
like you'd be sitting in a scene like this with people all sitting at a table, and the amount of cuts and angles it goes to in a span of a minute is insane.
Oh.
And
You know why?
It was just really annoying to see, and then I was so frustrated to won Best Editing that year. It's like, shit.
Well,
that was-
You know why it cut so much, right?
Huh?
Brian Singer.
He directed that?
He had to be listed as director because he did like half of it and then he quit.
Oh, interesting. And
Yeah.
Now he's dead.
Now he's dead.
Is he dead?
But
Now he's fine.
okay, we just don't talk about him anymore.
Yeah.
It's funny because Bohemian Rhapsody, they had archivists go back through all the BBC footage of their performance at Wembley, and they like staged them shot for shot to make sure it was like accurate to 100%.
I heard nothing but good things, except for what
Oh,
Sully
yeah.
just said. But I do want to see it. I do want to see it. I don't know why I haven't seen it. I saw Rocket Man, and then I went to go see that. I never got around to it. I liked Rocket
I
Man.
haven't seen Rocket Man yet.
It's like a musical, right? More than an
Yeah.
actual biopic.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's good. The guy from Kingsman plays Elton John. He was really good in it.
Yep.
Yeah, because he was on Kingsman Secret Service, and Elton John makes a cameo in that movie.
He does.
Right? I think that's how they became friends.
Yeah, it's exactly because he's like, buddy, I love you and your style. I want you to play me in my biopic. And he's like, oh, crap. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do it up. And that's how he became the Elton John.
It's a
Well,
great
you know what's
movie.
ironic about Bohemian Rhapsody? The current frontman for Queen, who's not the lead singer, he's just the frontman that fills in for the live shows, Adam Lambert, is
Oh.
in that movie as a trucker that flirts with Freddie Mercury. So, yeah.
You didn't finish telling us your live concert story.
Yeah.
Right. I went with the understanding that I was going to see Queen featuring Adam Lambert, and then I saw it, and I'm like, oh my god, if Freddie Mercury could have picked someone to replace himself, it would have been Adam Lambert because he is so flamboyant in the show, and it was crazy. But there was a moment I was so pissed off because they use like a U-type video screen to show the concert from different angles, and then near the end they drop it down to the stage, and Brian May goes out with his acoustic guitar and he plays "Love of My Life." And he gets to the last verse, and there's a hologram of Freddie Mercury that appears on the screen. So it's lined up in forced perspective, so it looks like he's standing right next to Brian May. And then when they're done singing, they hold out their hand. He holds out his hand, and so does Freddie. And it looks like they're holding their hands. But they only showed it at the front of the goddamn stage, and I was way on the side, and I couldn't see it. It's like everyone was like, "Oh yeah!" And I'm like, "Oh fuck."
Those holograms became really popular for a bit there.
Well, I don't think it's a hologram. I think that's just the way they do the perspective. They make him look big on the screen, so like if you're looking at him from the crowd, he looks like he's the same size as Brian May.
Weird.
Wow.
So, but like everybody has favorite Queen songs. So like I was originally gonna put down Night at the Opera, but I'm like, there are so many good Queen songs. I don't think I could pick one album.
Best Queen song. Favorite Queen
Fat
song.
Bottom Girls.
It's a good song.
Yeah,
True.
I
I mean,
Want
they
to Break
do-
Free. That song's great.
that's a good one too.
Sully, what do you
my-
got?
I mean, I agree. I don't know. They popped up bangers to bangers, and I don't have a single song I dislike from Queen.
What if you were
but
trapped on a desert island and you had to pick one song?
Bohemian Rhapsody, easy.
That's fair.
Mm.
If you're on a road trip with someone in Bohemian Rhapsody comes on and they don't sing, get them out of the fucking car.
Wow. Don't go to Japan with them.
They're huge in Japan.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, they're probably huge everywhere.
Yeah.
I imagine.
Except Russia. Do you have any one honorable mention album that's not on here?
One honorable mention. It
Okay.
sounds stupid. It's another theme. It's another soundtrack, but I would say Rodney Dangerfield's Back to School soundtrack.
I've never heard that.
It's from a very obscure movie from like '85 featuring Rodney Dangerfield and Burt Young and Robert Downey Jr.
God, what a crazy cast.
Right? Basically, this old guy goes back to school to support his kid, like back to college. Think like Happy Gilmore, except in college and an old guy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but it's got a really good theme song. It's got a really good theme song to it, but it also features music from a lot of like Blondie and I'm missing names there. Oingo Boingo's on there. Like we mentioned Danny Elfman before,
That sounds like a great soundtrack.
right? But the reason it sticks out to me is because there's a moment where Robert Downey Jr.'s in the movie and he's Oingo Boingo sitting there playing Dead Man Party, or not playing it, but he was playing around with their sound mixer, and he presses a button and it's the Proton Pack power up sound.
So random.
Wow.
I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Oingo Boingo.
Right?
Danny Elfman's
And look
crazy.
at Danny. I know. Someone said, like, did you know that their keyboard player is Danny Elfman? I'm like, fuck you, he is. And I looked up. I'm like, oh shit. Okay.
Danny Elfman is crazy, man. He's like, I don't know what he's doing right now, but dude is like super jacked and still like conducting and playing in bands.
Yep.
It's bizarre. And he's
That's
old as fuck.
I saw him. They did like, I think it was like the 30th anniversary of Nightmare on Elm Street, Nightmare Before Christmas, and someone couldn't make it to do What's This by Jack Skellington. So he's like, well, gonna have to do it myself.
Whoa, that's awesome. That would have been amazing
Yep.
to hear.
Yep.
Which brings us to Sully's list.
I think I went in middle last time, so I guess.
So you should be middle this time.
Yeah, you're anchoring this whole thing.
I've already been a middle child this whole life. I don't need this.
Wow. Wow.
Let him go last, Matt.
Yeah, we've got a diva on the podcast tonight.
Let me feel grown up for like one item.
No, that's cool. We'll do whatever you want. Okay, so should I just say them? Does this matter to me?
Yeah. All right. What you got? Dawn of the Dead.
Dawn of the Dead. So, yeah, I feel like Dawn of the Dead is a soundtrack. Like I was saying before when we did our movie list, you hear like a couple seconds of it, and you know it's Dawn of the Dead. There's nothing else like that, I think, in any movie that Goblin have done. Even Suspiria, when they did that, it's really good as well, but Dawn of the Dead is really, really unique. Even the other day I was driving, I was going to the gym really late. It was like 10:30 at night, and I was like, I kind of just want to listen to Dawn of the Dead. So I put it on, and it was just like immediately spooky, you know?
Yeah.
Like immediately.
Did you have a moment that you had to like, must move faster, must stay ahead?
I was like, when there's no more room in hell. No, you know, it's always stuck with me. And that's why I love it. That's number one.
Even the song from the mall.
Yeah, they do all of that shit. Even that song
Yeah.
is in Shaun of the Dead as well, which is great.
Yeah.
Shaun of the Dead, another great movie. We should do a
Yeah,
podcast about that.
With a good soundtrack.
Yeah, great soundtrack.
Yeah.
So that's
Great.
that's my first one. That's
And
it.
Beastie Boys. Check your head.
Yeah, I love the Beastie Boys, and of all their albums, for some reason, Check Your Head has always been my favorite that I go back to. I think it's because I was chronologically going through their stuff, and when I got to that album, I was like, wow, they really like turned it to kind of like a more serious mode. That was the first album for me where they were less jokey and kind of like prankstery and more like doing rap and like actual like not darker, but like it just seemed like they were saying something more with that album, and that's where it started, I think.
Yeah, because there's a good mixture of like punk rock with like hip hop flow in their songs.
Well, they kind of have punk on almost every album because they were a punk band before they were doing hip hop and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's always punk stuff. Even in the movie, I fucking shot that where they handed all the video cameras to the audience. They play all their own instruments at a bunch of interludes, and they just are really good at everything they are doing. So.
Well, they must be good if they're considered classical music in the 24th century.
Yeah, is that Futurama?
No, that's that's Futurama, but that's also in the Abrams Star Trek universe.
Oh yeah, that's true. I
Oh,
forgot
yeah.
about that.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I don't remember much of those movies, to be honest.
I really, really wish I could have seen them. They were like on my bucket list to
Mhm.
see, and I was like, "Fuck, that really sucks a lot." When he passed away, but I saw the Beastie Boys doc on Apple. It was pretty good. We're just them talking about like them growing up together and stuff. But yeah, Check Your Head. I mean, when I was an animator, we used to sing the whole album. Me and my buddy Sandy on the way to work. It was awesome. So yeah. So that's my Beastie Boys album. That's number
Yeah.
2.
Yeah. The Strokes, Room on Fire. I was actually listening to it. It was actually pretty nice to.
Yeah,
I was like,
dude,
It's
it's-
pretty banging.
It's pretty cool. It's got a really good vibe to it. I don't know if it's true, but I heard that when they're recording, they like put their amps like in the center of the room, so they sound more like distorted. I don't know if that's true, but there's something about them that sounds older.
That's a Queen trick, you know, right?
No, I didn't know that. I think did they like start it, or is it like something they've been doing
like
forever?
like I'm not getting away from your album, but when Queen started recording their more interesting stuff, like they would literally put their amps in weird places, so they got a good like reverberating deep sound out of everything.
Oh, I just mean like the lead singer. It sounds like he's singing through like a radio, like in the middle of the room.
Oh yeah.
Really? Do Queen sound like that?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, there's no two songs that ever sound the same.
I never would have thought that. I've never heard. You'll have to send me some of the songs, because for me, the Strokes are like one of the only bands I've really heard like that.
Yeah.
Because they're credited as being like one of the last rock and roll bands to come out of New York City, apparently, allegedly.
That's fair.
Yeah, like if I could see them live, I definitely still would. And I've listened to all their albums, and I do like almost all their stuff, but Room on Fire, I think, is my favorite one. I almost picked the first album, actually, because it's pretty good, too. But yeah, that's my third album. It's the friggin' Strokes.
And Cyndi Lauper. I think we talked about this like a bit just in person before, because you were just going on a rant about how much you love Cyndi Lauper.
I love Cyndi Lauper. I love this album. Not like Cyndi Lauper in general, like her other albums. I don't know them as well as this one, but yeah, this is one album that I have like on vinyl, on cassette, like I have it in Apple Music saved. And I never even heard it until I was a lot older, like only a couple of years ago, really.
Is that her her debut album?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's so unusual. Lots of classics in there. It's funny because, like, I know that Girls Just Want to Have Fun is on it, but I always just skip it because, it's such a popular song you've heard in so many movies. But yeah, like, All Through the Night and stuff. There's some really good fucking bangers on there, to be honest. I just love it, too, because it's so, like, random of me to love. And I don't think people would guess it unless you knew me well enough. You'd be like, "Oh yeah, okay, Cyndi Lauper." That makes sense.
Yeah. Even when he sent me to like a course, I was like Cyndi Lauper.
Somebody send me the shirt immediately.
So I'm coming in with the trivia. Do you know that Cyndi Lauper is actually a WWE Hall of Famer?
I did. I knew it.
Wow,
yeah.
I actually have no idea.
Yeah, she her father in her debut music video was Captain Lou Albano. And then she showed up at one of the, I think, WrestleMania 3. And she showed up periodically, and then she was gone for like 20 years, and then showed up again and broke a record over Vince McMahon's head in the ring.
That's awesome.
So they put her in the Hall of Fame, and it was pretty cool to see her in there.
Yeah, there's a bunch of wrestlers in her music videos, too. I think they're in the Goonies one as, like, some of the villains. Who's the dude?
I think
Is that the guy with all the spaghetti on his face? What's his name again?
Dude with spaghetti on his face.
Yeah, he looks ridiculous. There's literally spaghetti hanging off his face.
That's amazing.
It's fucked.
I'd have to look it up.
It's pretty disturbing. But yeah, I did know that because she was like pretty ingrained into like 80s pop culture there in America.
Well, and that was I think they spent a lot of money that year to get themselves more mainstream, and getting the biggest recording artist to that year, plus Muhammad Ali and Mr. T at their premiere event was kind of their thing.
Oh, that's cool.
So.
Well, I love Cyndi Lauper. I don't know much of her other stuff, but this whole album I've heard a zillion times now. And that's my number 4.
Well, Daft Punk. I mean, actually, Daft Punk in general is just great, dude.
Yeah, like they've only got like what is it, like four studio albums or something ever. It's crazy.
Well, wouldn't you count the Tron Legacy soundtrack?
Yeah, I mean, it is, but it's not like their regular stuff.
Yeah, it's not like their standalone actual stuff. It's just
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like, it's cool that they did it. I would say it's a neat kind of spin-off thing they did. I don't think they're doing the new Tron movie. I don't see that happening.
That makes the Tron movie just go down a huge step for me, dude.
I know. I saw the news that Jeff Bridges was returning, and I'm like, what about Daft Punk? Like,
I know, right?
Yeah, because we had that conversation with him. Like, wait, he's gone. He's gone, man. What's he doing there?
I don't know. He's like D-Rez, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Then I was like, if I could switch Jeff Bridges with Daft Punk, I'd do it in a hurry.
Honestly, I mean, you could, because he should be dead, so I don't know what the hell's going on there.
Not to shit on Jeff Bridges as an actor or whatever.
I don't know. I'd trade
just that level, dude.
I'd trade Jeff Bridges in for Olivia Wilde in that leather Tron suit again.
Oh man, I forgot she was in that. She
Yeah.
should
Oh
be
my
in
God,
the
yeah,
new
yeah.
one because it
I hope
ends
so.
with her seeing the sun for the first time
Yeah.
on the motorcycle. Man,
Yeah.
that movie. I wish they would just do a special edition where they redo Jeff Bridges' face now with the deep fake. They could make it so
Yeah.
much better now.
Yeah.
It looks really jank.
It
Like,
looks so shitty. Like the rest of the movie is so dark for a high budget Disney movie. I'm surprised
Yeah.
they made it, to be honest.
Wow.
But yeah, Olivia Wilde, there you have it, John. Oh yeah, right. So Daft Punk. So I picked, yeah, I picked that album because there's so many good songs on it, and they had the anime music videos that all join together as like one movie. I forget
Yeah.
what it's called, but
oh,
it's like a weird
oh my.
number, I think.
Well, One More Time, I think it's the whole thing is called based off.
Yeah, it's really cool. I thought that was such a great album because all of them are just so chill, but they're also like pretty fast. But it drops down so much to like a really slow tempo, chill evening, and then you can go right back up to like a dance club kind of thing. I don't know. They did a good job.
I know what you mean. It's hard to listen to this this album without listening to the whole songs in the track because I just find it just flows so well throughout the whole album.
Yeah.
That like if I just listen to one song, it's like damn, now I feel like I have to listen to the other half. Like,
Exactly. It's one
Yeah.
of those ones where you're like, oh, because I love all of the Daft Punk albums, but for some reason when I heard that one, it seems more like a concept album than more than the other albums to me for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, I picked that one. I don't know. Shit, that's the one I picked.
Yeah. All right, Man on the Moon, Kid Cudi. Gotta say, this is probably my most like wow. I'm actually kind of shocked.
Really? I
Something-
love that
yeah.
album. I've heard it
It is-
like jillions of times. Yeah, when I first started jogging to work and back, that was the main album that I would listen to back and forth every time. I remember when the sun would be coming up, the album starts, and I was like, so whenever the sun comes up now to this day, all I hear is Kid Cudi, like the album starting in my head. And I love all the songs on the whole album. Everything about on it I love.
Yeah, I love Man on the Moon. Whenever he puts them out, it's like damn, because I love Man on the Moon 2 and 3. I
Yeah.
think 3 came out in 2020.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
also good. And then he was also in Kid See Ghosts and Indie Cudi. Oh my god, a lot of Kid Cudi stuff bangs.
Have you ever heard the Wizard side thing he did?
Yeah,
It's
I did.
really weird, but like it's pretty cool, but it's really weird.
'Cause he tried to go in a whole different genre with the stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
what are you-
It's
like,
just
this is
like artsy, kind of too slow, but like kind of cool. Like I don't know, but yeah,
It's
I
like-
really like Man on the
It's-
Moon.
It's like, where's Man on the Moon 4? Let's go.
I know. Like
Yeah.
I think when I was listening to the first one, the first Man on the Moon, I was like, oh man, how have I not heard of Kid Cudi? Like this is crazy. And then at that time, I think 2 was coming out like a couple months later, and that was really fucking good too. I really like that. Mojo So Dope, such a great song.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my Kid Cudi story there.
Yeah. Yeah, Kid Cudi's just great. I love a lot of her stuff, especially when he started collabing with like a lot of artists. That's how I first heard of him, and when he started collabing with Kanye West.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they did the whole Kid See Ghost album together, and that was really great.
So many great
but-
songs.
Yeah.
Too many, really.
Speaking of too late, Gob, Too Late, No Friends.
Yeah, so when I was a kid, my older sister, when she was in junior high, was like a punk. And I always remember her wearing combat boots with like sundresses and being like, man, that's so cool. Like, I can't wait to get in junior high. So they used to listen to punk music. And that was the first punk thing I ever heard was, and it's just like garage band punk from Canada. I think they're from Vancouver. I don't even know. And it's not good. It's just something that's like ingrained in my brain. But it started me down the path of like liking, a lot of punk music. And I still listen to tons of punk music to this day because of Gob. And I've seen them live a bunch of times. Henry's been with me. The last mosh pit I was in my life, probably
Oh, wow.
forever, was at one of their concerts because I'm way too old and broken to do that anymore. So that's why I
Next
picked
week,
that.
man, we're going to another mosh pit.
Oh, I don't think I could do it. I would be like, ooh, my back. I can't do that.
Do you know
You're
you,
holding
you know
it in the air.
do you,
Yeah.
you know how you know when you're too old to be, or when you're at a certain age for when you're at a certain age to go to concerts. When I went to see Queen, they set off a giant confetti cannon, and my first thought was, "This is so cool," and my second thought was, "Wow, someone's got to clean this up." That's when you know you're getting old.
I also just can't go because of the sound. I think it's too loud for me now. I'm like, I sound like Huey Lewis in Back to the Future. I'm like, it's just too darn loud.
You're just too darn loud.
But it's
Yeah,
true
punk
though.
rock.
I don't think I could be around music that loud again. I'm just like, save my hearing. Like, holy fuck.
Yeah.
Matt,
Go on.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just listening to this because it's like I was like, damn, I was like, I might as well listen to this album to see what it's all about. I was like, damn, this is like definitive punk rock. Like this is what I think of punk rock when I think of like old stuff.
Oh, the Gob album?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it came out in like 95 or 96, I want to say. I think. Yeah, back in the day. It's just like stupid shit, basically. But I always listen to it. Me and Henry always have connected on it because he used to listen to the same stuff back in the day, back in the 90s. But yeah, that's why I got that one in there. She's on rotation forever.
Yeah. And I guess we already touched on this a bit before, but Thriller, baby.
I mean, it's Thriller, you know? Fuck. I don't know. It's kind of like one of those things where if you take it out of your upbringing, you're like, oh, fuck. That was like a really big thing in there, you know? I don't know.
Maybe we should write a movie where everyone forgets about Michael Jackson.
I mean...
That's crazy.
I mean, who knows? Do you watch the Dave Chappelle show like back in the day where they had the Michael Jackson trial and they're like, he's like,
oh my
come
God.
on, man, he did Thriller.
No, I remember watching the Michael Jackson trial. Come on.
Well, there's been a couple, so.
No, the one where he showed up and like he was like 2.5 hours late and they were gonna hold him in contempt, so he pulled up in a SUV and got out and he was wearing like his suit jacket and pajama pants.
Fucking pajama pants. What a strange phase.
I just remember seeing him posing. I think it was like he's doing an interview, and every time he moved, all the paparazzi were taking photos of him. They just like started doing movements on purpose to get people to flash more.
Man,
Trying to hide the surgery lines.
good luck hiding them. Actually, right before he died, when they did that "This Is It" movie,
Yeah.
it was pretty crazy. That would have been nuts to see him live. That would have been pretty crazy. I think the movie is supposed to be pretty good.
It's good.
The movie. Oh no, I mean not the doc. The doc is good. The movie they're making, I think it's just called Michael. It's a Bohemian Rhapsody, folks, and they're getting his nephew to play him. He looks exactly like him. Like it's fucking crazy.
Well, wasn't the last guy who got signed up to do it just stepped down because like this is too big of a role to?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, I guess they showed footage at I forget what con it was. It was some event. It was on Twitter.
I think it was CinemaCon.
Yeah, and people were like, "Holy shit! Like this movie looks fucking awesome."
Well, that's the same problem they had when they did Bohemian Rhapsody. They had all these great actors who tried out, and then they're like, "This is too big of a role. I can't play Freddie Mercury." And then they got on to what's his name? The guy who plays Borat.
Rami Malek.
No, the guy.
Sasha, what's his face?
Sacha Baron Cohen was supposed to play him,
I remember that.
and then Bryan Singer got
As they
got
do.
out. Yeah, and then he left, and then they had to find someone else, and Rami Malek I think was just coming off of Dark Angel or something, and they're like, try this, and lo and behold, he put the teeth in, he looked perfect.
Mm-hmm. I gotta watch that. Maybe I'll watch it tonight.
Yeah.
There was a bunch
Watch it
of
with
those
Bennett. Get him used to it.
Oh man, Bennett is asleep. You know, the only music he's heard so far, I think, is like that I know of. He's listened to the Beatles. He listens to Hakuna Matata a lot. We listen to a lot of Lion King. I'm stoked to rewatch all the Disney movies with him. Like, I was gonna
say you're gonna be a Disney dad. You know that, right?
I'm so excited.
You're gonna have to watch Moana like 700 times.
I've never seen it, so you know.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
Well, then
don't watch the animated one. Don't watch the animated one. Watch the live action one. Do it. Ruin his memory of this. This is gonna be great.
I'm excited for the live action one because you actually see Dwayne Johnson sing the song like live.
It's so stupid. Like I can't believe it's happening. That's the wild part.
It just came out. They're making a sequel, and then they're doing live action. Like all the ones they've remade have been out for 20 years, and they're like, "No, this one's out for 10. We're good."
Some of the live action ones are good. Like I thought the Cinderella one was good.
Yep.
I haven't seen the Lion King live action actually.
live action, quote unquote. 'Cause I'm
Aladdin,
not-
I went into it and I was like, this is gonna be fucking terrible. And I was like, well, it's not the worst. It's,
Yeah.
But I still think the original's the best, of course.
Robin Williams, dude. Yeah.
I know, right? Like, you gotta have him as a genie.
But Will Smith went into it the same way Remy Malik went into it, and he didn't. Not Remy Malik. I'm thinking of something else. Will Smith went into it and said, "I'm not going to be Robin Williams. I'm going to be me, but I'm going to do him justice."
It was better than I thought it would be. Like, I didn't see. I hated Beauty and the Beast, to be honest with you. I hated that movie so much. Hated it. But yeah, I'm excited to watch all of them. Like, especially the old ones. I haven't seen in forever, like Robin Hood or Fantasia. I haven't seen those in like decades.
Oh, I haven't seen Fantasia in forever.
Yeah, like, and he's gonna see that soon, and I'm gonna be like, yes, we will rewatch it.
That's also a very like visual, musically stimulating movie because there's like no words in that movie.
Yeah, and Bennett loves music. Like, he's been in a bunch of music lessons now for like while he's been alive. Music lessons and swimming lessons are the main things that he's been in. So basically, he's gonna be a Little Mermaid. I think he'll just sing and swim.
Yeah.
He'll probably end up being
good.
Scar. You watch, he'll be Scar.
He'll be Jeremy Irons as a lion.
Be prepared.
I just listened to that this morning. That's fucked that you said that. But
Yeah.
what were we talking about? Was it Thriller?
Rubber Soul, dude. How do you feel about that?
That's my favorite Beatles album. It's weird. I had never heard the Beatles. I mean, okay, I heard Letter B on Sesame Street because it was Letter B, and they had all the puppets like the Beatles dancing.
Yeah.
I heard. I think that's it. Honestly, I didn't know any of the Beatles songs. I didn't know anything. I knew that they existed, and I knew that they were huge at But I remember getting my computer fixed, and the guy was like, "Fucking Beatles are like the Backstreet Boys of my time. Like, I don't give a shit about them." And I was like, "Oh, I like punk music. I don't care about the Beatles." Then I saw that movie Across the Universe, the musical.
Yes.
And I thought it was really pretty fucking good. Like, I'd never heard that many Beatles songs before, and that kind of started me down the path. I think it was when I was like 23 or 24. And then I did what Henry does, deep dive into all their albums in order. And all the side stuff that they did. And for some reason, Rubber Soul has always been my favorite because I remember hearing that Kurt Cobain had, what song was that at his funeral? In My Life. It played at his funeral. When I found that out, I was like, Jesus, like that's really sad, but really good choice for your funeral. So I have the whole lyric list, like, in one of my rooms here on the wall. My mom got it for me. She's a huge Beatles fan, but yeah, that's my favorite one. That's my last one.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my story.
Wow, that's Beatles, dude. I'm honestly not. I'm not. Me personally, I don't really like any of the Beatles songs. I'm just like, yeah, that's Beatles.
Same with
I got
Linkin
no-
Park. I feel the same way. I know they
Yeah,
exist,
same.
but I'm like, I don't give a shit.
Like I've heard them. I don't think they did anything really great.
Yo, don't diss the Beatles like that, dude. The fuck?
I was talking about Linkin Park.
Oh, justified.
Linkin Park are way past my time. I'm like, I don't know. It's like Pokemon. I have no idea.
I think music is timeless, so that's just you hating.
No, I don't think so. I think that it's really angsty, and I think I was out of my angsty little punk phase at that point and moved on.
The only reason I saw anything from Linkin Park was because Transformers.
Oh yeah, right.
I don't know, just punk rock era kind of emulates a lot of the stuff. Like it kind of
Yeah,
in that era.
but Linkin Park came out around the same time as new metal, and they just kind of got drowned out.
Well, I don't think they got drowned out because they're like the face of new metal, really.
Ugh. I don't need that.
You might want to talk to Fred Durst.
Is he alive still?
Yeah, he looks horrible.
Oh man.
That's so unfortunate.
Oh, Limp Bizkit.
Yeah. What's your honorable mention, by the way?
Oh yeah, right. Jeez. I don't know. Maybe the Trainspotting 1 soundtrack. I really like because some of it's like you're on heroin, and some of it's like you're robbing somebody. So it's a pretty good mixture. That's my honorable mention. But yeah.
That's funny.
Okay, Sully, I got your list here. You just want me to start right at your first one?
Okay, I might have to circle back to Kendrick because I have a lot to say about Kendrick. So.
Oh wow, damn, as they say.
Yeah.
I'll start at the bottom of your list. Actually, okay. Well, why don't you just tell me the order that you want? You just say.
All right, I got this. So Logic, Under Pressure. There was just so at a time I was really like I was already into hip hop in general, but this was like the first really time I really got like into like seeing people put hip hop or R&B and rap into like story flowing kind of symbolic to people speak different souls. I was like, holy crap, this really like hit me when I was listening to it. And this was like one of the first albums I really sought out with me and my brother. We used to play this whenever we're just vibing. It's like our background music as much as time would be good because even the Under Pressure music video has it's really cool. They do like a first person perspective of like a drug heist going. It's crazy. You check it out.
I just picture you like playing Yu-Gi-Oh, listening to this in the background.
That is like literally how it happened. Yeah.
I picture him playing Yu-Gi-Oh for everything.
It's true. I do play Yu-Gi-Oh with everything. I was playing
Yeah.
Yu-Gi-Oh before this happened. Too.
See?
Funny, huh?
I knew it.
Yeah. But yeah, Logic Under Pressure. This was definitely like one of my all-time favorites. Like I think this came out in like 2013, 2012. This was like, this is kind of my favorite of Logic's albums. It's his first like encore studio album. Because before he was just doing like a bunch of like small shots and stuff like that. And I do like Logic still. I just don't like him to the extent like his later albums. I still like them, but they're okay compared to Under Pressure. I think it's just my gold standard of what his work was for me personally.
Logic. I don't know. Have I heard of him? What has he done?
He's in Rick and Morty. He he does a whole. They have a whole episode dedicated to his music for some reason.
Is that with the faces? No.
No. He's like with the superheroes and stuff, and they're all slowly killing each other.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and then they're like,
goodness.
"Yo, it's Logic, yo," and they're all bopping their heads to it.
That's hilarious. What's his like most popular song?
Well, Under Pressure being one of the bigger ones. It's like a 9-minute song. It has like two sides to it. Kind of just him bringing out his angst and then like how it gets to his level about how him becoming a father really changed perspective on life, and that's how kind of the rest of the songs play out, and him being half white, half black, and looking more white, people judging him based on whatever, and he starts really explaining his whole life growing up like that. It was really interesting.
Dude, I just pulled this picture up on on Wikipedia. Have you seen this?
I didn't see the Wikipedia page.
Oh my fuck, it's so funny. So I'm gonna hold this up. He has an Airy hat, and he has a piece of tape over it that says Panavision. Like, that is hilarious.
That's wild.
I'm just like, wow. Anyway, sorry, that was wicked.
Yeah. There's also with Logic, he also inflated one of the prices of a Pokemon Pokemon trading card because he bought it for like an absurd amount, like $200,000.
Oh yeah, you told us about that on one of the that was on the Yu-Gi-Oh podcast you talked about.
Yeah. Logic. He pulled one of the first edition Charizards, and then he's like, "Yo, I want to buy another one." So he bought that one and signed it, and then he has that one as well. Somebody other one actually.
You gotta be that. You gotta get one of those, Sully.
Yeah.
When you're famous. But yeah.
Logic.
What's the next one?
Oh yeah, Bad Meets Evil. And Hell the Sequel. I love this album so much. This was like what me and my friends all just like bob their heads to, going to the next adventure, cruising. Even because my mom and my dad all were hip hop based anyway, so I was already listening like to Tupac and B.I.G. And then this was like a combination of like late 90s and like really like 2000s artists coming to play. Like this is when you can really see like Lil Wayne and Drake and like John and all this stuff. And then Royce and Eminem compiling all these artists into this album was so fun. Oh my god.
God damn. I still haven't really heard Drake. I just know he's on Degrassi. That's where I've seen him mostly. Isn't that awesome? I just kind of want to keep it that way, you know?
You know what's funny? I had a rare case where I only seen Drake on Degrassi before I even knew he was going to become a rapper. Because I remember seeing it's like, oh, that's just Drake from Degrassi, and then like Jimmy from Degrassi. And then they were really promoting him to be like a new rapper, and I was like, what the fuck? And then it just slowly took off that he ended up with an album that I actually quite enjoyed, and then he just started getting like all these collabs where he was like Lil Wayne's like sign-on artist, and then he just became a big hit artist overnight. It felt surreal. I was like, what the I just seen a commercial of this guy not too long ago. He's an actor. And I was,
so weird.
Well, it's funny, Drake actually got dissed by Queen when I went to see them.
Wow.
they were at the Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, and Brian May was there, and they always give their road guys the props that they deserve. And they're like, I really want to give them props this time because they got our stuff set up that normally takes like 18 hours to set up. They got it set up in 6 because last night some little, and he used the word wanker, named Duck, and he's looking over at someone, and Adam Lambert's like, no, Drake. Oh, Duck was a fucking diva and was 6 hours late starting his show. So our guys had way less time to set up than they normally do.
Damn.
And there was no like comeback from Drake because you don't mess with Queen.
Yeah. Oh man, I will actually touch on Drake later on in this episode because he has I think a much greater encounter. Notorious B.I.G. Life After Death. This was like the album I always listened to with like when I was hanging out with my mom's friends because they also love hip hop. And then I just grew up like, man, like this just bangs. I love like the way it pops and the way he has the thing. Even like even though R. Kelly is on this album, they're just like, damn, this is great.
Sometimes you gotta pee on people,
Sometimes you just gotta. Yeah, and this was the kind of vibe I love of R&B hip hop rap that just really like spiraled from like the mid 90s and like I think it's early 90s that this was all coming out in. And this is what I was like, I love Pac, but man, B.I.G. just hit it, dude. Yeah, he was my big banger after banger guy in this album. I was actually listening to this.
I get banger. I get it, banger.
No, don't do my goat like that.
Too soon?
Where's his movie? Did they ever make one?
They did. Notorious.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah. Man, I remember we were walking by and my mom saw like a bunch of Funko Pops and it was like a huge Notorious B.I.G. Life After Death Funko Pop that had him and his whole crew all up in it. I was like, oh my god, I gotta buy this. I was like, this is cool, but I really hate Funko Pop. Like,
that's hilarious.
I can't stand those guys. I hate their style. And now they have a video game. I just wish this freaking figurine stuff of Funko Pop would die out.
Wow.
It's going. Give it a few more years.
No,
Wow.
You'd be shocked. You'd be shocked. They're the Disney adults of music, pop figurines, dude. They will never die, and they refuse to let this thing die because they think it's so cool. I hate it. It's a plane of existence of figurines. Anyways.
Wow. Really deep dive into the craziness of Funko Pop there, Sully.
Yeah. And Foo Fighters, Echoes of Silence, and Painting in Black. I love this album.
I don't know almost any of the Foo Fighters stuff, which is pretty crazy, but I know of them.
I'm surprised. I just because obviously like David Grohl was a Nirvana drummer.
Yeah, I love Nirvana. Like I love all their stuff, but I never really got into Foo Fighters.
I was like the reverse. Like I don't mind Nirvana, but I love Foo Fighters so much more.
I think it's because I grew up more with Nirvana and Foo Fighters. It was like, well,
I think for you and me, Matt, Foo Fighters when they first showed up, they were more of a gimmicky act because they had all those funny music videos.
Yeah.
So we didn't really take them seriously. Yeah. And then when Sully was getting older, Dave Grohl was like, "Shit, I got a little more serious here. Otherwise, I'm gonna go away."
I mean, I did love their goofy stuff. Like Everlong's music video is wild.
Dude, people love Foo Fighters. Like they're huge. Like they're a huge band. People love them. But we're from like the grunge era. And we're like, no.
yeah. And then obviously David Grohl showed up in Tenacious D as as Satan,
the devil.
Yeah,
as he should.
It's fucking wild. You like guitar battles, Jack Black and a gang. It was so wild.
Didn't he do like a really big documentary, David Grohl, about like some old recording studio? It came out like a couple years ago during the pandemic.
Yeah, I think so. He was talking about him, Foo Fighters, and like how Nirvana was going. It's silly.
I can't remember what it's called. I think Jack White was in it as well. Can't remember. Anyway, sorry, I digress.
No worries. Yeah.
Foo Fighters, though. Yeah, Michel Gondry did some of their music videos. Fuck, he did Eternal Sunshine, The Spotless Mind. Yeah, they're huge. People fucking love Foo Fighters. You know, I get it. I'm over here playing Atari. You know.
Yeah, and Random Access Memories. I honestly, it was hard for me to pick an album with Daft Punk as well. Because they all slap. I don't know what to say.
It's true.
But Random Access Memories is the one I just like. Damn, I think this is the most Sue's setting one for me that I just love to listen to.
I heard this funny quote the other day about oh my god, who's the guy who is singing in Get Lucky Again? Pharrell Williams.
Oh, Pharrell Williams.
Yeah,
Pharrell, yeah,
where
Pharrell.
I don't know if you saw this on Twitter, Sully, where they were like, the dude is just talking. Nobody has like the heart to tell him that he's not actually singing, but the song is so fucking good that it's just like they're just like, you just talk, man. Like just keep doing what you're doing because it works perfectly in the song, you know. But
Yeah. They did that with that Swedish guy as well. They just had him talk about his life and
Yeah.
like put a beat over that, and it's in Random Access Memories.
Yeah.
And it still slapped. He was just talking about his life, like.
Yeah, it's because as soon as he's done talking, it goes like right into like the did. Yeah, that's a great album.
Oh yeah.
All their stuff is amazing.
Mhm.
Honestly, yeah.
Even like
kinda-
with Tron, you're like, you know, it's Tron, and they're in the movie, which is crazy.
Well, what other movie would they show up in? I mean, come on.
I don't know. Have you ever seen the movie they did with they have the two robot face? Like, oh my god, it's fucked.
Oh yeah.
I remember when they first showed up and they were wearing like dog masks.
Oh, in Homework back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. The movie is crazy. I don't even know if there's any talking in it. I can't remember. But it was at the Atlantic Film Festival when I first moved to Halifax, and it's just these two robots who it's not actually Daft Punk, but it's supposed to be them, and it's just them getting up to no good. And at the end of the movie, one of them like takes their head off, like their face, and it's all mechanical, and they're in the middle of the desert, and it makes no sense. It's fucked.
Yeah.
Have these guys ever like done a Kiss type thing and taken their mask off? Does anyone know what they really look like?
Yeah. They do. Yeah.
Okay, I have no idea. I've never seen them without masks on. So
This is like regular dudes. You wouldn't even know. They're like French, you know.
Yeah, and they were
so
like,
so they don't stand out, like they don't get mobbed because no one knows. Like the bulk of people don't know what they look like.
Exactly.
yeah, that's what that's what they initially wanted too, right? Especially when they're coming out to music. They just want people to remember them for the music, not just for who they are.
I'm so sad that I'll never get to see them. They were on my list as well.
Dude, I was like, there had to be like a new like album at some point. And, like I was just waiting for it. And the fact that like we're done, like, no.
I know.
Well,
I know.
maybe they'll be like this and they'll retire and come back in 3 years.
Maybe if they came back
Maybe.
to do Tron, that would be pretty incredible. But I don't
Yep.
know. Who knows?
Yep.
Their live album is pretty amazing too. I almost put that on my list. The live one where they combine the two albums. They did it in Montreal.
Yeah.
Fuck, it's good. It's almost like they were meant to go together.
Oh, Daft Punk, man. My God, there's not enough to say about them.
It's true.
But there is enough because I ran out of things to say. Anyways, this is funny because I actually hesitated putting this on here, but I thought it would just be too funny to not do it. So this is Linkin Park. This is Linkin Park, The Hunting Party. This is one of their albums in like early 2010s.
That was
the one
way later, right?
This is way later, yeah. The
Yeah.
one everyone goes to in the early 2000s. That's a hybrid theory, where it's like in the end, all
Yeah.
that stuff. Hunting Party is where I like really liked like I honestly I think they just kind of elevated their craft a bit, and this is kind of also like they started going away from just metal. They started interpolating techno and funk into their metal, and because I think they started off with some songs that are like kind of dubsteppy in this one. Yeah, so it kind of had the electric feel to it, and then some of them are still basic rock to it. And I remember just playing this because I used to like imagine like so many scenarios, like watching this, which just like playing Legos and most epic battle scenes. That's
I guess it would be really good for video games, wouldn't it?
yeah. That's what I really loved about it. But it was just me playing Legos, and like they're gonna make an epic battlefield for this.
Are they doing any more stuff ever, like without him?
Actually, you know what's funny? Cody Hatt messaged me like on the weekend, and then he's like, "Dude, check it out." And it was Dave Chioda with like a new female vocal artist for the Linkin Park.
What? Interesting.
Yeah, she was pretty good, man. I was like, "Damn, that's
See,
a cool way."
That sounds awesome. I would be buying that. I don't know why, but it just sounds cool. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Send us a link. We'll put it in the description.
Yeah, put it under.
I'm
there.
serious. I'll put it in. I'll listen to it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. It's like a small 30-second clip, but yeah.
And is she like for sure gonna be like their new lead singer, or is it just like a?
I think they were just in the studio playing around with like what they could do with their music and her vocals, and I was just like,
So-
damn, she's really good because she's with Linkin Park, the guys, right? Dave Shota and
Yeah.
their artists and everything. So
So
yeah,
kind of like Adam Lambert and Queen, not replacing them, just there.
But
exactly.
it's a girl,
Yeah.
which is really interesting. I think
Yeah,
that's
she does-
crazy.
it adds a really interesting dynamic to their songs. Like, damn, I kind of love the way she was doing it herself. So
Yeah, man.
kind of puts her own unique way into we're putting like Chester Bennington's take on it with her own vocals. So
Yeah.
I can't even imagine what that would sound like. So I want to hear this. Send me the thingy. I'm telling you
Yeah.
to send me the Linkin Park link, please.
where's my phone? I'm sorry. I didn't know you loved Linkin Park this much. I didn't know you were a fan.
I didn't know that this would take this turn. Is this the beginning of it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Next time we're
Deep,
on, I'll have the shirt.
Yeah,
I respect that though. People love Linkin Park, Shit.
Yeah.
true.
Shit. Who cares what I think? Jesus Christ.
Without
I
them,
care
we wouldn't
what
have a
you think.
Transformers soundtrack.
Oh yeah. I love that. That goes after he does his speech.
Yep.
Oh, what a great
Yep.
scene.
I still love the first Transformers movie. There's something about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's Linkin Park. That's what it is.
I was gonna say it is Linkin Park and Megan Fox.
Is it Megan Fox?
Oh.
What is she even up to these days? Jesus.
Brian Austin Green. That's about what she's up to.
Ooh, who's that?
No, she-
No, Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah, Machine
Oh.
Gun Kelly. I was gonna say she did.
Yeah.
They were dating. She started dating him when he was beefing with Eminem.
Isn't he like
Yeah.
14 years old?
No, he's like I think he's in his late 20s now.
No.
Oh.
No, he had she had a thing with Pete Davidson too, or am I thinking of Kim Kardashian?
Dude, everybody
hard-
did.
yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
No, I think you're thinking of Kim Kardashian, but
Yeah.
it's kind of the same timeline. And I can see where you get that. But yeah, so that's when MGK it was like dissing Eminem, and then he started calling like, "Whoa, your beard is weird. You slim, you're old." Like, whoa, back when he was still doing rap, and then like Eminem made the Kill Shot and just really just changed the perspective of MGK, and now he's like a pop artist. It's so weird.
Weird. That is
Doesn't
weird.
do rap.
Come on. Come on, man. Like all the artists are changing now. Look at what's his name. Post Malone. He just put out a country album.
Oh yeah.
I don't
So-
know any of his music either. I'm so
Well, the only thing I know him as it would be like he reminds me of what Bennett would look like if you give him a magic marker in like a year.
Wow.
With all the tattoos on his face.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've seen pictures of him. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've seen
Yeah.
Post Malone. He's home alone doing his own stuff,
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, he's actually a big Magic the Gathering guy. He's actually the guy who bought the Lord of the Rings One Ring for like $1 million or so.
What? Like from the movies?
No, the Magic the card game.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we
Yeah,
did
because they only
talk
put
about
out one card, right?
Yeah, Wizard of the Coast put out one card, and this card they wrote in the actual Elven in from the book, from the One Ring, saying what it does, and it just in a Magic the Gathering font, and it's like we only printed one version of these, and then one kid pulled it, and then Post Malone's like, I will pay you whatever amount of money. if you
Wow.
Just give me that card, and the kid said $1 million. Like, all right, here it is, and now it's the most expensive card ever sold.
Imagine being that rich where you're like, I just want that. Just give it to me.
Well, what?
Yeah.
Not Logan Paul. Jake Paul bought a $5 million Pokemon card.
It's Logan
And he-
Paul.
Sully's
I thought it was
I know.
Logan Paul. Yeah, Logan Paul. He wears it on a chain around his neck and wears it to like the ring because he wrestles now.
Yeah, because
What?
he was in a wrestling ring. That was like that was actually the coolest thing I've ever seen anybody wear as like a
I-
bling flex.
Jesus.
Like I've seen guys come out with like awesome costumes, live bands. No, he comes out wearing a $5 million Pokemon card around his neck.
Yeah, this is the same. Yeah, this is a first edition Charizard, the same card that Logic bought. That's the same kind of style.
Yeah.
It's a first edition Charizard. So I think the card's worth about like $500,000 now.
This is why I don't do anything anymore. I don't go out. Everything is
Yeah.
just beyond me at this point.
And now his brother Jake Paul's fighting Mike Tyson.
That
He's
I
gonna
will
get
still
killed.
check out. What do you
He's
think?
gonna get killed. He's gonna get killed.
I have mixed feelings. I could see this still kind of going either way. Not in the aspect of like I think there's a lot of favoritism on Mike for obvious reasons.
No, I imagine Mike Tyson's gonna be over him and he's gonna be laying on the ground and they're gonna go up to him and they're gonna go up to him. What do you think, Mike? If he dies, he dies.
Oh my god.
yeah,
How old is Mike Tyson? He's like almost 60.
he's like 56.
59.
Jesus.
Oh wow.
I don't know
Yeah,
how safe that
he's
is.
up there.
Yeah, I think it's okay. Well, I'm going to rant for Jake Paul. Anyways, graduation, Kanye West. I was actually stuck on like
yeah.
what to pick as a favorite album from Kanye because I love a lot of his stuff.
Is
And
this
I was
pre or post crazy?
Pre-crazy.
Okay.
it's kind of on the edge. This is
Ah.
right. It's like right before he like Beyonce has the greatest album of all time, like the greatest music video of all time in front of Taylor Swift. And so
Wasn't it funny? He was like a huge artist, and then he insulted Taylor Swift, and then he's like suddenly crazy.
No, he is crazy.
no, this isn't what made him like. Technically, everyone think he's crazy. Everyone's like, "Wow, what an asshole!" But
Yeah.
it was a precursor event, like the canon event for Taylor Swift to become like the fucking mainstream. Oh no, look at this like artist who got like, she deserves so much better, and then she deserves so much. Now she's like changing the economy in countries.
I know what happened.
Yeah.
How did she get that big? That I mean, I don't know, man. Like I don't.
Have you tried to buy a ticket for her show on Ticketmaster? That's how she got that big.
I just.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just don't see it. I know all the Swifties. If you're watching or listening, I'm sorry, but I just don't. I don't like Taylor Swift. I don't like her at all. Sorry, Taylor Swift.
I do love her music. I just don't. I don't. It's not like I hate anything that she does. Even one of her music videos, Bad Blood, won like an award, which actually did deserve it. That music video was great.
No idea what it is. I've only
it's
heard her
like-
earlier stuff.
It's like if Sucker Punch, like by Zack Snyder, was a good movie, but Taylor Swift. That's what that music video was.
Do you ever notice Zack Snyder seems to come up like every 3 episodes? Like
Dude, we
something-
just dog shit on this guy so much. Like,
we gave him props last episode on Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna watch Dawn of the Dead when we're done. So
Great movie. I love the opening of that. You know, they were
Yeah.
so confident in that they put the first 9 minutes online for free before the movie came out.
oh wow.
oh, you know what was funny? I was trying to sell someone on Richard Cheese, on his first album, and I'm like, watch Dawn of the Dead, and then you'll be into it.
Yeah. And they have the Johnny Cash song, the opening of the movie. Fuck, it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's a great
Yeah.
movie.
But yeah,
All right, so Kanye.
That's
Kanye
an
West.
amazing album, though.
this is a great album. And
Yeah.
this is like obviously the one people talk about. It's like, but you at graduation.
Yeah, dude. I almost put it on my list, too, to be honest with you.
It's such a chill album that it just speaks to whatever, just what the hip hop at its time and just everything in that era. It just even just flows nice.
Yeah.
I could always just chuck this on and still bob my head to it, despite knowing the context of Kanye.
You saying that the way that it flows is exactly the way I feel about it, because even if, for me, like, when I had never heard it before, as soon as I put it on, it just seemed like everything was meant to go in order that he was saying it as the songs were going through. I sound like a crazy person, but it just
No.
it's just kind of like one of those albums that's a little bit magical that you love as soon as you hear it the first time. I mean, that's what I think, anyways. I don't know, but
Yeah, I get yeah. Even some of the collab artists he gets onto it just really elevates some of the stuff. And yeah, it is one of those albums where like, damn, I really wish I wanted to listen to the other parts of it.
I
I want to listen
know.
to the next track. Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
You know, man, we went crazy. Did you hear what Donald Glover had to say about Kanye West in his interviews recently?
Not recently. I don't think so.
Is he crazy?
No, nothing bad. It's so Childish Gambino, because I think he's like done with that name soon. He's like gonna be done making his albums under that like alias, which is too bad. But I think it was Rolling Stone. I don't know what magazine it was, and they were like, you know, what's your favorite go-to artist of all time and album? And he's like, Graduation. He's like, I know this is controversial, but like, that album is fucking amazing. And Kanye West was like absolutely incredible, like when he did that. And they were like, what? He's like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. Like, it's an amazing album. Like, you asked me and I'm telling you the truth, you know? So.
Yeah, 100%. And even just he did kind of like obviously quote. I remember him talking a bit about like Kanye as a person, like how he kind of was like kind of off the rails. And then Kanye was like, I don't care what the man says, I would still love to collab with Childish Gambino.
That's awesome.
So it's like a weird mutual respect that they have for each other.
He just went so fucking crazy, didn't he? Like, holy shit, he went crazy.
Yep.
And out of all the celebrities that said they're gonna run for president, he was the only one that actually was like stood tall and went for it. So
I know.
mad
I've
props-
seen that on YouTube. It's very
mad props to
cringy.
that guy. And then he also this presidential speech is one of the most cringiest things ever because he just breaks down crying and how Kim has the kids and how he doesn't want to see him anymore. He should be allowed. And then he's like, this is not even about like politics. Like you can see the security like try to slowly take him off stage. It's just such a bad scene.
Which is why you should nominate me as president.
Yeah. This is our PSA. Take care of your mental health, for the love of God. Otherwise, you'll run for president.
Yeah, that was crazy. I don't even know what he's doing right now. Didn't Adidas like cancel his whole?
I think everybody did.
Yeah,
everybody did. He made what's his face? he was trying. He got sued for like an absurd amount of money for damages against Sandy Hook, saying that it was a hoax. And
Yeah.
Oh my.
I forgot his name. Oh my god. He's like a podcaster with Joe Rogan all the time. Bleh.
Alex Jones.
Alex Jones. He actually made Alex Jones look like a good person. That's how far.
That's saying a lot.
Yeah, yeah, because like Kanye was like doing an interview. He had like his weird mask shit on.
Yeah.
And Alex Jones is like, so like, what are you with the get up here? It's like, well, I think Nazis are are really good people.
Yeah, because he said something
yeah.
like the Jews had it coming. Like,
Yeah, the Jews had it
whoa,
coming.
dude.
Yeah, he's like they kind of deserved it. And Alex Jones is like, you like the Nazis? Like, oh, okay, so you're like a fashion artist. So you mean like they're the outfits and stuff, right? It's like, no, the principles and everything. And Alex Jones is like, whoa.
He tried to give him a way out of that. He was like, "No, you don't mean this." And he's like, "Nope, doubling down right now."
Yeah, and you can just see Alex Jones like sweating. Like, how do I fit this conversation?
And I'm gonna run for president in 2024.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that is.
And then
fucked.
he just went on the rails about like anti-Semitism, and then that's when a lot of people started unsigning with him. And
Holy shit!
I think this was like pre Davidson because while he was still crazy, the Pete Davidson stuff all happened. Kim K.
Yeah.
Fucking wild.
Jesus.
I love this guy so much.
Yeah, I think he just thought he was so untouchable. He could just say whatever the fuck he wanted. You know.
I kind of still feels like that, to be honest.
Oh
but
yeah, he's like totally nuts.
Yeah. Nothing, like Donda still slaps. I don't know.
I know. That's the thing, you know. It's like, I think the more that you learn about like your things that you love, like the artist, you're like, oh, I don't think we could be friends ever. Like this will never work. But I'll still listen to your album.
Never meet your heroes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's kind of true because you always assume you'll have so much, you know, in common with them because you're like, we connect.
Yeah.
I listened to this, or you did this painting or this comic, and they're usually a total prick douchebag. It sucks.
Yeah. And my last album I have here is Tyler the Creator's Flower Boy. This was actually a recent one. I listened to this one throughout college, and this is the one that really like got me by as I was just walking to school every day, as I traveled through the city, getting lost in Halifax. Oh man, just hell yeah! This is just like this kind of same kind of flow that like I was talking about with Logic, where he really knows how to insinuate like telling stories, into his music. And this is one where I really like thought it really flowed well, especially with like he goes from like regular R&B to like goblin rap, where he just like starts sounding absolutely wild in this
Goblin rap?
Yeah, he like it's crazy. You should listen to it. I think his previous of Cherry Bombs, yeah. His previous album like has a lot of that, like and this was like his balance between like some of that and like kind of like smooth R&B pop. And this was his other one, which is kind of more so on the kind of the crazy rap he was doing before. But this one I thought was a nice balance of everything he was doing.
Yeah. It's funny because I find like some artists do like stuff like that. They'll do like the first album is this kind of genre, the next one will be something completely different, and then it's like the Daft Punk thing where Random Access Memories is kind of like an amalgamation of a lot of different stuff together, and you're like, they never could have gotten to this point if they didn't do these other weird albums before this, you know. Like it's really strange to follow, I think. I don't know.
But yeah, even one of his newer albums, Igor, I think that's pre-pandemic, is also a really great one. And I forgot the other one was called. Call Me on something. Anyways, I love this guy's music, and he's also had like he was my first introduction to like Nardwuar, because I watched Nardwuar, then I was like, who the hell is this Tyler the Creator guy? Then Nardwuar was just like just spamming this guy with like, well, what the how do you know about that? And then I was like, I need to know who this Tyler the Creator guy is, and then I started like listening to his music, and I was like, wow, Never would have thought I'd get from Nardwuar to this.
Hardware is so bizarre.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Goddamn voice. Holy shit.
So
yeah.
He might
So
be
I have
his
a
mind.
I have a fun idea for a quick game, guys. If you got a second.
Yeah, let's
I think-
do it.
Yeah. Okay. So while we've been talking, like I'm totally into the conversation, but I was sitting here thinking, I'm like, I need to recommend one of these, each of these guys an album to check out because it would kind of suit what they're kind of going for. So, Matt, we talked about Disney movies earlier and how you're going to watch them with it Bennett and get used to them.
Yeah,
You need to watch the movie Cruella and listen to the soundtrack.
I have.
It's right up your alley.
Yeah, my niece, who I'm pretty sure I had something to do with all of her interests. Like, she loves Cruella because it's kind of like the most punk Disney movie they've made, really.
Well, it's funny because it's like Ken Dodd, Georgia Gibbs, The Clash, Blondie, Queen, and then there's two really good covers. There's a Led Zeppelin cover by Ike and Tina Turner of "Whole Lotta Love," and then "Come Together" by Ike and Tina Turner.
That's hilarious.
Then there's the one punk song that every band knows how to do, and it's "I Want to Be Your Dog." Right, and it's done by one of the actors, so it's really good. So I always recommend that one for people like who are Disney folk that have kids.
They were supposed to make a sequel. I don't know when it's happening.
I think they still are.
Emma Stone's off like winning more Oscars apparently. So
Yeah, just cash in Disney checks every time now.
God damn.
And for Sully, what year were you born?
99. We bring it up a lot.
Okay. I have a great memory, just really short. I recommend to you Good Charlotte's The Young and the Hopeless.
What's that? What's
I know
What's
that
the
album.
soundtrack?
You know that? I knew you'd know that album. That came out in 2002, and it is a pop punk band that did songs like The Anthem, Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, Wondering, The Click, Riot
The
Girl.
Click? Isn't that the Undergrads theme song?
It is the Undergrads theme song. That's what made me think of it, because I know Sully's never seen Undergrads.
No, I haven't. I've seen
Right.
the poster of this movie like a million times.
But Undergrads is all on YouTube. Check it out. But I recommend checking out that album because you kind of get the feel of where we were in 2002, switching from new metal to, something else.
That was
Yeah.
interesting. That was a weird time. It was like pop punk became really popular for some reason. It was like a Simple Plan and like Sum 41 and
Yep.
it was a mess.
Well, no, I was thinking about that. I'm like, he needs to hear like punk pop from like early 2000s, and then I'm like, Good Charlotte. I bet you he's never listened to Good Charlotte.
And now he's married to Cameron Diaz. What's his name?
Wow.
Yeah,
Benji.
yeah.
Yeah. My girlfriend at the time loved Good Charlotte. She had all their stuff. That's all she
Yep.
listened to was Good Charlotte back in the day. Holy shit. It's like forced into my brain forever.
To kind of pivot away, I was gonna talk about my last album with Kendrick.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said your last. Never
I
mind.
thought he
I'll
was
shut up.
done too.
Yeah.
No, damn.
Oh,
This is,
right.
Because I want to skip this because Kendrick is my favorite artist. If I'm being perfectly
Oh,
honest.
right. Okay.
Yeah. Because I have a lot to say on this guy, and I figured I'd better say this for last because I'm gonna go on a huge tangent about Kendrick. Because I actually love every single one of this guy's albums and songs he does. And whenever he pops up a new one, I'm always all for it. And it took him so when he put out his latest one, I was like, damn, this is just great. And he also this album specifically, this is technically isn't my favorite album, but it is the one that this is the first rap album to get a Pulitzer. So he's also the first
Really?
rap artist to get a Pulitzer award.
Really?
Interesting.
Yeah, damn. Because because what I mentioned about like how like Logic and Tyler the Creator like good flow and storytelling, I think Kendrick is like the masterpiece at this. Like he's a generic rap genius at making stories flow. Even with Damn, there's two ways to listen to his album. First, the original like track 1 to whatever, where you could see like it talks about Kendrick not having God in his life, and he starts slowly going through hoops, and at the end he becomes enlightened. And if you listen to it backwards, it's like he was a god man, but then gets damned, and he just slowly descends into madness and becoming a more degenerate person. It's a crazy album to listen to forward and backwards. I kind of think his Pimp a Butterfly album, the one before this, kind of deserved the Pulitzer Award a bit more, because I think his storytelling in that one was just, I think, really spoke more to his soul, and really him and how he grew up with hip hop and all that stuff, and how he is today. But I think honestly, I think it's like, oh shit, we forgot to give the guy a one. Let's do it to Damn. If I'm being honest.
They do that sometimes.
Yeah, but Damn, I do think a lot of his albums are just perfect in my opinion. And the one thing I did want to like, this is gonna timestamp this video because we are currently getting new Kendrick songs. I've bring it back to Drake. So Drake recently did a side dissed out Kendrick, right? And he just because he can Drake is like, yo, it's just me and the big three. You know, I'm gonna go on a whole hip hop like tangent here. I'm sorry. Drake was saying like how him and his crew are like the top of hip hop game, and Kendrick was like, nah, screw that. I'm not taking that. Like, so he just like kind of set it ferment for a bit, and then he put out a song. I think it was 616 that came out first. It was okay. It was okay compared to a lot of like that was going on, and then like Drake doesn't really know how to like diss people like a rap battle of sorts. So he was kind of everywhere, or he was just kind of not just aiming at Kendrick, kind of aimed at like Rick Ross and other people who were really related to a lot of his studio type stuff. And as of recently, as this progressed, I've never seen so much hatred in a human being. Kendrick, I think, was hating Drake for like years. I mean, like more than a decade, because he made a song called Euphoria. Like it's like, if you're really gonna push me, it's like I'm gonna do it so much more. And then Drake put out a song Family Matters, and he kind of when he was into doing this, he kind of did kind of same stuff where he was like kind of putting some side dishes, but he started to accusing Kendrick of being like a wife beater and stuff like that. Like this guy, like he beats his girl, whatever. Like, oh my god, it's fucked up, right? And then Kendrick, he put out a song called "Meet the Grams," and he was just addressed this like talking to like his family. He made this diss like a letter to all of his family members, saying how horrible of a human being Drake is and why he deserves to die, because him and his crew are not only like soliciting out all this like drugs and shit like that. They're also sex trafficking. They're pedophiles. I'm surprised he wouldn't get anything with P. Diddy and stuff like that. These huge accusations, and how Drake is so good at hiding all of his children. He's like how often he's hiding all these baby mamas. It just spiraled so quick. And then like he put this after Family Matters. Family Matters came out, and then like not even like 40 minutes later, Kendrick put this song out, and that took the top charts away from Drake. I'm sorry, and I've just been so invested into this drama. And then a day later, he puts out another one because the biggest thing that he like some people critiqued about this song was like, you can't listen to this in the club. And then Kendrick just popped out a new song that you can bop yourself into a club, all talking about him and his crew are still how often like they're be scared of sending your children to any of his houses and shit. You gotta listen to this. It's crazy.
Dear God.
Yeah. And at this point, it's been like transcending language barriers, because even like there's a lot of Japanese artists are also going in the realm of dissing out Drake. My feed has just been nothing but this beef with them two, and yeah, I'm so sorry.
Wow.
You know, I remember when a diss track was like something that would come out once in a while, not something you could do like every day. Because back when I was a kid, the first diss track I ever heard was "No Vaseline" by Ice Cube.
Oh.
Yeah.
Directed at NWA, and it was like, ooh, that burns.
Yeah, I think, okay, so Kendrick took 3 weeks to respond to Drake, and then obviously Kendrick has just been like just fermenting this for so long, and and then now he's putting all these songs out that just sound like he literally hates Drake to his very core of a human being.
Wow.
Like it's insane. I never just listen to his lyrics. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, oh my God. Like, Drake, what are you gonna do? I think every time I think of Drake, he's like he's just such a calm, mellow dude. It's like, why did you pick a beef with this man? Like,
well, it probably had something to do with him being shot in the back.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that a Degrassi reference?
That was a Degrassi reference.
I approve of that. Maybe, hey, we'll have Drake on next episode and we'll talk to him about it. He's Canadian, right?
Yeah, he is Canadian,
There
and
you
he
go.
also it's crazy. And that's why I'm time stamping this video because it's just right before this beef has been settled. But
You'll have to tell us what happened, Sully, on the next episode.
a lot of the stuff Kendrick has accused Drake of doing, like he's been accusing him of being a pedophile, sex trafficking woman. Don't go to his house. Don't go to his things. You will lose your daughter to this man. That's all the shit he's been saying about Drake. And then Drake's like, "So I have other kids? Is that what you're saying to me?" He's like, "Dude, that's like the most famous thing he said about you. He said you're a pedophile. And all your friends are pedophiles. What are you talking about?
So
you're aiming at the wrong things here." Sorry.
No, you know that's the way the podcast is going here.
And I've been waiting for Drake to do something because I am all for more Kendrick, and I just didn't expect because Kendrick before his last album he said he had a writer's block. He just couldn't think of anything to write, and he didn't want to put out something half-assed. Then all of a sudden, this Drake throw a bar at him, and then he's like, just years of unrelenting spite just coming out of this man. It's just like, whoa. Hate is a hell of a motivator to get you out of writer's block.
Damn, literally.
Yeah.
I remember. Wow. We listened to that at White's a lot. That album. This is a total sidetrack.
Sorry, no. That's why I was like, I'm gonna sidetrack this right quick because I'm just all for it right now.
No, I mean, I don't know. There's probably a lot of crazy things we don't know about a whole bunch of different albums that we mentioned like that, like in the background that were going on.
Yep.
Be interesting to do a Henry Townsend deep dive into all of them, find out some crazy shit. The deets, the details of everything, why it's happening. Yeah. I mean, we kind of started there with Kid Cudi, with Kanye and stuff, so.
That's true.
Now it's just spiraled out of control.
now it's Kendrick versus Drake, and I'm all for it, dude.
Damn. Literally.
Yeah,
again.
It's like the most commercially famous like rap artist versus like the most critically acclaimed, and I'm like, wow, this is crazy that it's happening right now.
We should just do a whole rap podcast. No way. You could do you could just be your only group that you'll be behind is like Kris Kross, and you just come in and know everything about Kris Kross.
At least let me have a group I actually like literally NWA. Let
Kris Kross or nothing. Okay.
Oh. jump.
JK. That's what we were doing back in the day, Sully. People wearing their fucking clothes backwards. It made no sense. It was so dumb. I don't even know how we made it out of the early 90s. It was bizarre.
Dude, I remember going to high school with the same flannel vest for like 6 weeks straight and like baggy jeans.
Do you remember when people had locks on their pants and the key and stuff?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. No,
you had that? Yeah, dude.
No,
everybody would lock their pants, and there was a little tiny key to and if you didn't have it, you would just piss yourself. It would be terrible. Good times.
Yeah.
You dodged a bullet, Sully. You dodged a bullet. You got the tail end of the 90s.
I had like a tape belt. That's what I did because I destroyed my other belt and kind of rocked that for a while.
I mean, you had a sash belt, didn't you?
Yeah, I did have a sash belt too.
I've seen the sash belt happen.
Yeah, my belt broke at work, and I just took some sash and made that my belt.
See, back in the 90s, there was I had a seat belt from a car as my belt.
Yep.
I actually just gave it to my niece. I was like, this is what we did in the 90s, son. And she's like, that's very vibey. And I'm like, the fuck did you just say?
Like, dude, man, even my generation was still buying those. I thought it was stupid. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah. And then my mom bought me one, and then I was like, I didn't want this.
Some 90s stuff was just
crunchy,
bulky, awful, weird.
Yeah.
The late 90s kind of I don't know. We had
remember that the big flared jeans?
Yeah. That's what I always think of with Linkin
Park. Not bell bottoms, just
That was what I always thought of with Linkin Park, because to me it was like rave stuff back in the day, and I was like, I'm not really into this. But I guess it must have changed over time, but I had already written all of it off, and I was on to other things. I missed it. I missed the boat, Sully.
I disagree. Music is timeless. I honestly, that's where my state is.
I don't think. I mean, if I was living through it and didn't like it, I mean, I was there,
most people really don't like change their thoughts on a lot of stuff like that. Which I mean, I don't blame people, especially if you dislike something.
Yeah, that guy who didn't like the Beatles, he considers them a boy band from his time.
What was it? I heard this one time. It's like Queen has her own museum now, but where's Billy Ray Cyrus's museum? Billy Ray who?
What's he
Give
up
Miley
to?
Cyrus one first before we do that.
Doesn't she like hate her dad now? Is this gonna become a celebrity gossip show?
No,
Is this
no. I
happening
think
here?
I think they're good now.
Oh, are they?
I
That's
think
good.
so.
That's good. And we'll end it on that note, on a happy note.
Yeah.
Billy Ray Cyrus and Miley, it's okay, everybody. It's like a Disney movie, you know.
So Sweet 16 is gonna be all right. Don't worry.
Yeah. Well,
Hannah Montana 3.
we shared some musical thoughts.
Yeah.
You know, we got in some politics behind the scenes. Sully's gonna fill us in next time on what the happenings are with Drake and Kendrick Lamar. John's gonna do a deep dive into Kris Kross, and I'm gonna go fully into Linkin Park and just lose myself, as they say.
Well, I just did my deep dive. I'm done.
No, that's it.
That's it.
That's it. Do send me the female lead singer though. That sounds really cool.
I will.
Okay.
Maybe.
Good.
Probably won't.
You have to.
Make
I'll
note.
just fucking Google it then.
I'm blocking you.
Wow. It's over.
Matt,
Go
Matt,
full
I think
Drake on me, okay?
Yeah.
tomorrow morning I look up. There's like a diss track about Matt. Like, what the hell?
It's just Sully rapping from his couch.
Screw this guy. He ruined the other 30. He won me around the fireplace. What the? Yeah. I guess with that, episode 31 is now done. That's a 3x3 of music. Like I said, we were not pretty much music genius. We tried our best. And how would you think of all of our takes? What's your music 3x3? What music speaks to you, or music soundtracks in general? Really, I don't really have much to say other than a lot of stuff. Because Kendrick is a very angry man. I'm really kind of concerned for it. It's just kind of wild to see.
You
And
really
that,
hung
like,
up on that.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude. It's live after the live. Remember, we're on Apple, Spotify. Like and comment your thoughts below.